Avengers has to evolve. I wonder what that could mean. New interesting storylines? Breaking new ground? Let's have a little look. Oh, this was a good scene from Infinity War. That battle was awesome. Black Panther? Haven't actually seen that yet. I think this is the only Marvel movie I haven't seen. Wait. What's this? Inclusivity is key? No. No. No! Oh, okay. Let's take a breather. Maybe I'm jumping the gun. I've just honed in on that one word. Maybe it's not what I'm fearing. Let's have a little look. So we're on Gamespot today. I've noticed this go downhill over the last couple of years in its writing, but we will see. Written by Chris E. Hayner. Current up to date, June 26th. The future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is something fans are dying to know more about following the devastating ending of Avengers Infinity War. No spoilers are going to be given here. I'm not going to... If you haven't seen it already, I'd be surprised. But I'm not going to give anything away. After all, how can this massive franchise continue without more than half of its characters? Oh, okay, thanks Gamespot. I'm not saying anything. With so many turned to dust. Oh, okay. You've just completely spoiled it now. It's not spoiler free anymore. And a couple more dispatches in other ways. You need to go to your editor, mate. And a couple more dispatched of in other ways. Perhaps. The roster is looking a little thin. Naturally, chances are at least some of the deaths in Infinity War will be undone in Avengers 4, if not all of them. Yeah, kind of obvious. They're not going to get rid of all the big names, not have them come in. There were some popular ones that went down as well. I'm not going to specify, even though GameSpot has completely blown the doors off of the spoilers. Still, as Marvel Studios looks towards shaping the future of its universe, the question of evolution becomes paramount. Yeah, because they're coming up to probably what is one of the most famous arcs in Marvel Comics, Infinity War. Once that ends, where are they going to go on from there? How important is it to evolve these movies and the characters that populate them as the MCU moves into Phase 4? Something I really don't know much about. I'm not a massive comic guy. I did know quite a lot of the characters, the storylines up to Infinity War, just from looking at stuff as a kid. General knowledge, that kind of thing. I'm not a massive superhero guy, but I know my stuff. It is perhaps the most important thing Marvel Studios President Kevin Feige, I'm going to call him Feige, tells GameSpot while promoting Ant-Man and the Wasp. That is the most important thing, and that's what you've seen happen over the past 20 films. Different genres, different heroes. Heroes maybe you've heard of if you've read comics. Heroes you might not ever have heard of if you did read comics. And now moving forward, hopefully the next 10 years, and eventually we'll reveal what we're working on for the next handful of years, and it'll be similar. So they're going to drag this out. I was hoping they wouldn't do this, really. I can't see Marvel films continuing for another decade. They've had a good run, but the thing is with these, they tend to milk them for as long as they can and not let them die at the height of their glory, quit while they're ahead. I don't think they've been that obscure with the heroes that they've been putting out. I mean, there's Ant-Man, but even I knew about him. Right, so what Kevin Feige, what are you looking forward to? What do you want to do with this brand? Look at Cap there. Oh, so manly. I love the beard. What does the evolution look like, though? According to Feige, it's brand new heroes, new types of heroes, continuing what we see in Ant-Man and the Wasp and Black Panther and Captain Marvel, who a hero can be and should be, and seeing all different types of heroes. Well, a hero can be anyone as long as they're heroic, I guess. But what are you pointing to in these movies, Feige? Ant-Man and the Wasp. I have a feeling you're talking about more about the Wasp than Ant-Man. Black Panther. Are you pointing out his race? Because I don't think that is a defining point of that character. And Captain Marvel, is it the fact that she's a woman? Of course it bloody is. Feige, you've done such good work till now. Please don't go down this path. I'm begging you. The idea of seeing all types of heroes is something Marvel is seemingly committed to. After Black Panther gave the studio its first black superhero standalone movie, Captain Marvel will be its first female-led film in early 2019. There's been a lot of people, I've seen some rumours on the internet that Captain Marvel may not be that great, that they may have some problems with it, and that it's kind of pushing agenda. I hope not. It can be a very good movie in and of itself. I know it's female-led, but please, please, please don't make it agenda-based. I mean, Wonder Woman was great. Probably the only DC film to date that I can actually say I enjoyed. And it didn't push Wonder Woman as a woman, despite it being in the name. She was just a strong character. Character comes first. What they are comes second. They just happen to be black. They happen to be a woman. They happen to be gay. As long as the character is good, it's written well, the story's good, everything else will slot into place anyway. Well, let's see what else he's got to say. We want people from any background to be able to look at the screen and see themselves reflected, and just as importantly, to have different types of people. Oh God. You have to excuse me. I'll comment afterwards. Types of people be inspired by people who don't look like them. Well, yeah. Or people who have different backgrounds than them. Well, yeah. And let them inspire them going forward, Feige says. To me, that's the most important thing that we can do, and we've started it and we're going to continue it. Oh, facepalm. Okay. Let me just break this down for you. So, we want people from any background to be able to look at the screen and see themselves reflected. That's not what a movie's supposed to do, or a book, or any form of media. I don't want to see myself in a movie. I want to see something that's unrealistic, something that's fantasy. In superhero films, I want to see heroic people going through trials and tribulations and ultimately coming out ahead. I don't care if that guy's from Britain, is white and comes from a lower middle class family. It doesn't matter to me. In fact, a little tidbit for you. One of my favourite superheroes, anti-heroes, is actually Spawn. Weirdly enough, one of the slightly more obscure ones. I really like the whole heaven and hell fantasy mythos kind of thing. And Spawn is actually a black character. When I was a kid and I started reading those comics, that's not something that would have been pointed out to me. It's not something I even picked up on, to be honest. But now, anytime we've got a black character, a black superhero, it's, ooh, look, he's black. That must mean something special. Not really. It's more what the character does, how they're portrayed, what they go through, and the story and challenges that they come across that makes the character. Not what colour their skin is or what kind of genitals they have. Like, Jesus. Anyway, and just as importantly, to have different types of people be inspired by people who don't look like them. As I've just said, Spawn, like, he was a black man and then he turned into a crispy, shriveled up potato after he became Spawn. He definitely didn't look like me, although I'm not. I guess the shriveled up guy might look similar to me, or my ballsack at least. Or people who have different backgrounds than them. Right, okay, tell me anyone who has been bitten by a radioactive spider and lives alone with their aunt like Spider-Man does. That generally they're not in normal situations. They're not from normal backgrounds. That's what makes them more individual. Who wants to see... I mean, okay, you might have one superhero who's a bit plain Jane from a normal family, etc., etc. But again, as long as the story, the characters are good enough to hold up with that there, and it's just a natural part of it, then that's fine. But to force it and make the central point of your story that the fact of their background, oh, they came from Africa, they're Muslim, they're specifically Christian, it seems a bit of a thin string to hold up a story with. And they're going to commit to it. Why? I mean, that's pretty hard to read any other way. It kind of makes me think that they're going to go the way of Marvel Comics, which, again, is something I've been looking into. If you want to know more about what happened with Marvel Comics and why comics are essentially dying, go look up Ethan Van Sciver, his channel, Captain Cummings, Diversity in Comics. There's a whole load of comics-related YouTubers out there that have this documented far better than I do, and that's where I've learnt about it from. But basically, comics, specifically Marvel Comics, has been dying. It's losing sales by their shed load because they're pushing agenda. They're pushing specific types of characters, transgender, black, female, over the quality of the storytelling and the artwork, which people don't want to buy. They don't want to buy into your politics. They want to buy a good story. They want to buy escapism. That's what this type of media is about. A momentary escape from those things. Why would you want it inserted into them? People aren't going to pay for that. And to see them suggesting, even hinting, that that's what they're going to do with the film saddens me, because they've had such a good run. They've absolutely dominated DC films. Batman vs Superman was one of the most awful films I have seen in a long time. It was a chore to watch that film. Justice League was an improvement, but still not great. And Wonder Woman was, like I said, the best one I've seen so far. So when it comes to the future of Marvel Cinematic Universe and what it will continue evolving into, inclusivity is key. There should be a comma there. Who is this? Chris, please, punctuation. There should be a comma here. Where are we? It will continue evolving into inclusivity is key. Given what's already been announced, a third Guardians of the Galaxy. God damn it! It's okay. He's just inserted that there. A third Guardians of the Galaxy movie, a Spider-Man sequel, and of course Captain Marvel. The studio is clearly continuing to take big swing. I think they have to do really well on the Spider-Man sequel. I wasn't a fan of Homecoming actually. Homecoming was a bit weird to me. I didn't really know what to make of it. Continuing to take big swings when it comes to expanding its roster of heroes beyond the standard Avengers that drove much of its first 10 years. And there's a reason why that was driven. Everybody knew those characters. Iron Man, Hulk, to a lesser extent, Doctor Strange, Thor. These characters were ones that pretty much everyone knew if they weren't into comics, and learning about them, knowing more was great. I think they might struggle with some of the expanded roster, but they need to make good choices. When it comes to all types of heroes, though, it's Feige's tease of a potential Miss Marvel movie about a young Muslim superhero inspired by Captain Marvel. That may be the biggest clue about what the MCU's evolution looks like over the next 10 years. Oh, good God. Okay. We want to hope that this is not a thing. Miss Marvel, like I was talking about with the actual comics industry, Miss Marvel was introduced by Marvel Comics and it bombed pretty hard. Insert female Muslim superhero. Yay! Badly written. Woo! I hope that's a joke. It's not something I'd want to... Well... It could still be written well. As long as they've got the right people on board. But what it's based on is not good. The actual character from Marvel Universe comics is not good. I'm a little bit sad now. In the meantime, there's plenty to look forward to. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I'm going to go and watch this. has potential to be really good. I've not seen any trailers. I've not seen any sort of comments or rumours about this film, and I actually really enjoyed Ant-Man. It was a fun little film, to be honest. It's in theatres on July the 6th. It's followed by Captain Marvel on March the 8th, 2019. Oh, that's next year. And Avengers 4th on May 3rd, 2019. Oh, May 3rd, 2019. I was reading that as the same month then. So, again, I keep forgetting his name. Where is he? Chris E. Hayner. Chris Hayner is kind of paraphrasing a little bit down here, but he's essentially saying that they're going to be pushing this kind of leftist agenda, insert specific minority hero here, so that young kids can look up to them. Like all those Asian kids looked up to Rose Tico and how awful her character was written. They would be ashamed. Why would you want to look up to that? One of the few newer characters that's been introduced is the newer Spider-Man, Miles Morales, who's a black teenager, quite a young teen, I think. I'm not sure. But he's apparently been very successful because he's actually had a good story and character written around him. And that's all it takes, really. I mean, if you want to do these things, it's okay, but don't just do it for the sake of it. Make them a good story, make them enjoyable, make them fun, make the fans get behind them. We don't want these. We don't want agenda, politics pushed on us. There's that one, for those who have seen Infinity Wars, it was an absolutely amazing film. I loved that film. Great fan service. There was that one absolutely cringeworthy, I had to turn away from the screen scene in the Wakanda battle when Black Widow, the Wakanda soldier, and Scarlet Witch were together. And they were like, "We've got each other's backs, girls. Girl power, let's go." And like, what? Why? Why? That was so forced and cringy. Oh. Anyway, it makes me angry. Hopefully, we'll see over the coming years. I think not Miss Marvel. Good God, we're not that far yet. I think Captain Marvel will be a good barometer of where things are going to go. But I'm pretty scared. I'm pretty scared. And Marvel's been playing it pretty safe, and that's fine. They've been doing really well. I want them to do something different. But the characters that they're hinting at, Miss Marvel, we might be getting like America Chavez, some of the awful heroes. We will see. Anyway, thanks for joining me again, guys. I'll see you soon.